Hi guys, my name is Mohammad. Javid, performance is my passion, and today I'm reviewing the 2018 Toyota CHR. Before we begin, take a look at my filming location today. It's quite interesting. It's really luxurious, I'd say. This is all thanks to Inver Grove Toyota, so if you want professional service from professional and kind-hearted people, do check these guys out for your next vehicle. Let's begin with the car. It is quite interesting. These are marketed as sort of chic, stylish SUVs. They're the smallest that you could buy. It isn't badly equipped. I mean, look at the headlights. There's a lot of 3D texturing into them. You get a lot of different style bulbs, and it does give it a premium and cool look, in my opinion. You get piano black for this grille insert here. You get some grills here and a little bit more there, and you get some more even there. So that's a lot of interesting places to put grills. I don't see that many grills on average cars nowadays. But speaking of grills, you get another one here. This one's fake, but it does look cool. You get fog lamps too, and they do light up really well in fog, in my opinion. You get this lip here, and it looks cool on an SUV, but crucially, you won't really off-road this as hard as you would with let's say a Toyota 4Runner, but all in all, it's pretty cool from the front, in my opinion. Taking a look at the side, or the wheels, honestly, these are 17s. They're pretty big for a small SUV of this size. You get Dunlop tires on them, and they're really grippy. You already have specks of dirt all over this one because it stuck to it. That's how grippy it is. You get big swooping lines and big arches and fenders. It does look pretty cool for an SUV. You get these plastic flaps here so it doesn't rust as quickly as some other SUVs of its class. You get a traditional door handle here, but what you don't get in the back is a traditional door handle. What you get is a door handle like this, and it looks really cool in my opinion. It preserves the lines of the vehicle, and from far away it might honestly look like it has two doors, which is cool in my opinion. That does make the window a little bit smaller though from the side, but who really cares? It's stylish. Looking here, you honestly get this huge in cave, and I think that makes it really cool. If you look at the taillights, you get these fins. They're pretty cool in my opinion. They help aerodynamics. And if that's not enough for you, you get a spoiler here, and it is actually not fake. It does truly reduce drag. It's hollowed out in the center, so that does prove that it is real, and you get an even bigger cutout there. If that spoiler isn't enough for you with the fins, don't worry, there's a tiny spoiler here as well. So we all like the Ford Escort Cosworth, right, with the double wing. Well, this sort of has something similar. It just doesn't have something connecting the two, but honestly, it's really cool. They've designed it way better than the equivalent Honda HR-V. I mean, just look at the rear design. You get CHR on this little fog lamp as well, which is really cool in my opinion. That was a nice touch. Even the reflectors look pretty cool. They're incave and then concave, and then extra lines here, extra lines there. Lots of cool designing features. Look at these taillights. They're not LEDs on this one. They look really cool from back here, and they do go all the way up top too. So it is actually sort of a 3D shape, which looks really good in my opinion. Moving back here, you do get sort of a big hatch on this one, so it goes up really nicely. I could sit in it, so it's kind of like a tailgate as well, right? You could also lie in it and close the door if you wanted to. The seats go down really easily, and if I was to pull this one up, it's really simple to get down. All you have to do with this one is pull a little button here, push it, and bam. It's really one button and a push, one motion. They've made it really easy for you to do that. What you do get here is these little flaps, so you could insert this guy, so that when you don't want anybody peeking into your stuff in your trunk, if you got, I don't know, maybe 50 grand worth of gold back here, you don't want anybody to see it, you lift this up and you put it up there. And if you want to put it on there like permanently, you could also attach these little straps here, and they are attached that way, so they go up and down with your trunk all the time. You get inserts here for your trunk, so if you do want something small that you don't want to fling around in the back, you do get the option of putting them here. If you don't like those, Toyota does sell some, not necessarily aftermarket, but like it comes from another company that you could buy it from, straight from the Toyota dealership, and they're little nets that attach here, and you could just put your groceries in there. So in terms of grocery shopping, this vehicle is really well equipped, I'd say. So if one day you open the trunk of your CHR and this little nice carpet bugs you with all the nice stitching around the exterior, you just set that aside and you could pull this panel up, and if you were to completely take it off, you could get your spare wheel. You could get that on there. It does run on 60 psi. That's quite a lot of pressure, I'd say. You do get these extra storage bins here, so if you do really want extra storage, you could stuff things here, there. You get it really organized back here with your jack, your wrenches, everything you need to change a tire. It's really easy in this vehicle. Wouldn't want to have to do it, but if you do, it's really easy. You also get extra hooks here too, to strap things down. So if you wanted to, I don't know, put like a bike back here and you don't want it flicking around, you just use some bungee cords and you hold it down there. Really nice. Taking a look under the hood, I really like this engine. So it's a quad valve 4-cylinder engine. Makes 143 horsepower and 139 pound-feet of torque. It's really good for a 4-cylinder engine of 2-liter capacity. I like it. It's hooked up to a CVT transmission, but taking a look here, it is very well organized. You get panels here that cover everything up with stickers. Please don't put your hand there. That's just common sense, right? But if you are stupid and you want to become the next Bucky from the Avengers without an arm, be my guest and stick your hand in there really tightly when the engine is on. So go ahead and try that at home if you really want to. You get your air intake here. It's under a plastic piece so that if you do take it off-roading, it doesn't get here. So is the battery. The battery's covered in a little foam piece so that if it does get damp, this soaks it all up and the battery doesn't get wet. That's really smart engineering. Honestly, it's pretty clean. I mean, you get valves here. They're not actual valves, but they're just plastic bits pronouncing that. It looks really cool in that term. You get it's really easy to change the oil of this vehicle. All you have to do is put it in here. I mean, everything is easy to access, right? You could do all your maintenance at home, your washer fluid, everything back there. In terms of space, this is a really nice engine compartment. So you get space here and there. So because of that reason, you actually get a 5-star safety rating. So hey, if you do happen to crash with this vehicle, unfortunately, it is pretty safe in that term. So all in all, I'm really impressed with the engine. Since this is marketed as a chic, stylish item, you do have the option of getting a white roof with white mirrors. So if traditional blue isn't your thing and you want like a green paint with a white roof, Toyota does give you the option of doing that, and it looks pretty cool with those paint options in my opinion. Let's take a look at the interior. Sitting inside the interior, it's a great place to be. As you can see, I have a lot of headroom. And I don't mean like, oh yeah, he's 5'1", he's got a lot of... No, if you're 6 foot, you'll still be up to here and you'll have a lot of space. They've really engineered it well in that term. And looking up here, you do actually get these cool textures here. So it's just a nice piece of design that they put. You also get an insert for your hand to bring your visors down. You get a visor mirror with a light, which is cool. If you look on the door panels, you actually get that same texture here. So this car has really interesting textures since it's a stylish item. It does have that texture on all sorts of pieces. You get a little leather trim piece over here too for your door handle. So hey, once you want to open your door, close your door, it's not a bad thing to put your hand on. So taking a look at the dashboard, you do get these interesting soft leather padding all over. You get really nicely stitched leather over here. I really like the texture of it. And if you were to get into an accident, I mean, look at the space that you have between yourself and the steering wheel. Granted, this is not my driving position, but even when I do put it here, I can reach the pedals fine, I can hold the steering wheel fine. There is quite a bit of distance, and everything is softly padded so that if you do hit your head, it is safe. You get quite a bit of distance between the windshield and the end of the dashboard, so that does explain why it is a 5-star safety rating car. You get speakers up here and some more down here on the doors. If I open the door, it's better to see. They do also have the same texture on this too as like the door panels, which is cool. You get cup holders in the doors, 2 of them in total. And if that's not enough for you, you get really interesting cup holders here and one there. And they do have these spring-loaded mechanisms to hold your drink in place. They are shaped quite weird. They're shaped like the rest of the controls here, which is another cool texture of this vehicle. But if you don't want a cup holder at the moment, what you do is you take this plastic trim piece, you insert it here, and bam, you could put pens, maybe a toothbrush in there if you're into that. I don't know. You could put all sorts of thin things into it, which is cool. Take a look at the gear shifter. It's a nice quality item. It has an aluminum / chrome sort of metal cover. It's really cool. It's got a manual mode, even though it's a CVT. That's interesting. You don't get shift paddles for it, though, because as I said, it's a CVT, so it's much easier just to shift with the lever itself. The steering wheel is wrapped in nice leather, and it's not like, it's not too luxurious leather. It's just leather that will last time, which is good since you're touching it all the time with stitching. Taking a look here, you do get 10 airbags. There's a whole bunch of them all over the car. That's a strong safety point of the vehicle, one of the best in the class. It does have 6 electronic doohickeys keeping you safe on the road, like traction control, stability control, ABS. There's a load of them. 6. Look, taking a look here, you get quite a bit of stuff on these electronic panels. So if I were to put the car slightly on, not completely on, but just put the electronics on, you get, a startup screen. It's really quick to the touch. You get AM, FM, AHA, which is like, you could Bluetooth your phone to it. Interesting. You could also manually connect it here with a USB or an auxiliary plug-in. If that's not enough for you, you could press the button again with more luxurious settings. It does show you this, so everyone, it says that all the seat belts in the back, they're not put on, so it is a great family car. So if your kid is being immature and he thinks it's funny, you can tell him, hey, put your seat belt on. You get the clock here, and it's integrated well with the screen. You get nice knobs on this as well. You could tune your radio with this. A big complaint in some competitor vehicles, like the Honda, is you don't really get knobs with the screen. It's just like everything is put on the screen. Well, not in this car. It's easy to access. You just push the buttons. It's as easy as that. The seats are also a nice piece of kit, in my opinion. They're not electric in this specific version. On the more expensive ones, you could get the option. But here's what you get. You could actually air the seats up or down. So take a look at this piece of padding. All right, look how hard it is. You could air it down to give you a little bit of a softer ride. Or if you are a really hardcore dude, then you could just press the button and air it back up, and it gives you a lot of back support. So if you do have back problems and it cracks every time you stand up, this car will be quite nice in that term. You get the cool headrests here. They are cloth like the rest of it, but they do have a nice texture along with the seats. You're not going to slip slide in these cloth seats, I can tell you that much. They're quite good pieces of kit in terms of whiplash protection, so you won't get whiplash with this vehicle. It's really good in that term. You get a great instrument cluster. The needles are quite cool. They are hollowed out in the center a little bit, which is nice, so you could see through them. You get a little LCD cluster here with many functions, so if the car was on right now, I could actually go through all the settings on this. Really interesting, and you could also dim them too that much, which is cool. You get, honestly, on the steering wheel, you get a lot of buttons, so you could turn on your front sensors, so if you're parking it, it doesn't bug you. It helps you out with your parking job. You get audio controls here. You get some settings, some menus here with this cluster here. You can go through your trip. You go back. Yeah, see, I just went back on this. Eco, your messages. You could go through a bunch of stuff. Drive modes, vehicle settings. You get a lot of kit up here. So even though you do get all this functionality on this LCD screen, please don't play with it while you're driving. I mean, that's just one of the first exceptions of driving. Don't play around with it. It's kind of like your iPod or your cell phone in the way that it always gets in the way. Don't mess around with it, right? It's cool, it's nice, but just whenever you're at a red light, go through the settings if you really want to. Don't play with it, though. That's not what it's meant for. So, I really like the front seats. Let's take a look at the back. Sitting back here, it is quite decent. In a really tall person's driving position, you still get a lot of leg room. That's nice. The seats do have zippers on them, so they could produce them more quickly, more easily. And if you do happen to knife it or something, I don't know, you could replace them more cheaply and more easily. That's cool. Look at the door sill, and you do get a cup holder here and one on the other side as well. They are textured quite nicely so that when you do put your cup or your water bottle in there, it doesn't slip slide like every other cup holder from competing vehicles. You get a nice aluminum door pull, and it feels nice to the touch. You don't get any handles though to hold yourself, so you just gotta cling on tight here. Looking at the seats, they do have the same texture as up front. It's nice. You're not gonna slip around back here, and this is actually waterproof. These seat coverings, they're waterproof. So if you do happen to go off-road and your boots are a bit muddy and you go like that with your shoes, you could just easily wash it out. And if that's not enough for you, you could unzip it. Take a look here. You get really clever covering, honestly, for your car seats on both sides of the vehicle, so you can anchor them down here and here. You get another cool texture back here as well on this piece, which is nice for your arm, I guess, or your elbows. More airbags, 10 of them, as I said before. So hey, sitting back here, it's honestly pretty cool. So let's give this vehicle a score. Starting off with price again, I mean, 22 grand compared to some competing vehicles, it is about 2 or 3 grand more, but saying that, it does come with a lot more standard features, like the screen, though that would be an option on the Honda or the Ford, so do keep that in mind when looking for one of these. All in all, I really like how this car is designed. I mean, as a chic, stylish SUV, they've really knocked it out of the park with the door handles, the clever 3D lights, everything just looks cool, it looks nice. The roof colors that you could choose from, it's honestly really cool. So for the weekend category, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Moving on to the weekday category, is it practical? And as an SUV, it's a small SUV, sure, but it does have quite a lot of room in the back. The seats are comfortable. It is a nice place to spend some time. It is really practical. Nothing's going to break off of it, like some competing vehicles maybe. So all in all, I really like that, and I'll give that a 10 out of 10 as well. 20 out of 20. It's a perfect small SUV in my opinion. This video was made possible thanks to Inver Grove Toyota. These guys are really awesome in the way that they're really professional and kind-hearted people. They provided me with the car and the filming location for today, which is cool, I'd say. And if you are looking for your next Toyota, do check these guys out. They give you really nice discounts when buying one. So, hey, that's great. As always, my name is Mohammad. Javid. Performance is my passion. And I'll see you all next time on The Young Driver.